You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
You are rocking with the hottest. Put your hands up for the boss. The Mix Master is live. Get ready.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.
Back at you live, waking you up. If you're not already up Friday afternoon, that's right, I'm giving you another special JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, VSX Digital Sports Networks live here on KSHP AM 1400, 107.1 FM. You hear my guys in the back line ready to get you that cash in your pocket. Daniel Cameron, D Sports Ledger, out in Sedona, Arizona. Good afternoon to you, Daniel. How you doing?
Doing great. Good afternoon.
That's right. You hear that Magdalena in the background. That's right. Simon Fava, Ivan back to Magdalena remix. The NFL is in Brazil, and I got him back on the line with me. This time he's coming with a brand new flavor. Rudy Reyes from the Rude Dog Show out in Central California. Good afternoon to you, Rudy.
Hey, what's going on, JB? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
I'm glad to have you here. We're rocking and heavy here in Las Vegas. Got that house music going. If you guys are wondering what's going on, that's right. I just took over your radio. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Here to put that cash in your pocket. We got the NFL tonight. That's why you're hearing those Brazilian beats. Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to be getting into that. College football, a couple of big games tonight. BYU versus SMU. Cash is to be made. So when I get back from this short commercial break, we're going to jump into it. All money, all sports, no bull. JB the Ticket again, Friday afternoon special, VSX Digital Sports Network. Let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.
Get ready to showcase your brand to the exploding sports betting and fantasy sports audience to elevate your business this season. Advertise on the VSX Digital Sports Network, broadcasting locally on KSHP and nationwide on iHeartRadio. Experience the power of digital and broadcast radio with great value, fast results, and no hassle. Reach a dedicated audience and watch your brand soar this season. Discover why VSX flagship show, Vegas Scoreboard Express Live, is rated #1 on GoodPod, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and top 5 on FeedSpot for best radio podcasts in Las Vegas. Get your brand in front of an engaged and loyal audience who are looking for the best sports advice and great offers. Advertise with VSX Digital Sports Network. Your success is our commitment. Visit VSXDigitalSportsNetwork.com or call 702-909-0585. Take your business to new heights this season. Don't miss out on this opportunity to connect your brand with sports enthusiasts across the nation with VSX Digital Sports Network. All money, all sports, no bull. Visit VSXDigitalSportsNetwork.com or call 702-909-0585. Log on or call today.
More fire, more heat.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Turn that shit off. Giving you that grease.
Back at you live, 107.1 FM, AM 1400. You know who it is, and you know what time it is. Your main man, JB the Ticket, giving you that grease, bringing you back each and every Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. But I've been doing a few specials on Friday afternoon. You guys have been asking me where the cash is at. Shout out to all the people listening here in Las Vegas. Thank you for supporting. Get over to jbtheticket.com. And again, without further ado, got my two guests on the line with me. Rudy, the Rude Dog Reyes from out in Central California, and Daniel Cameron from D Sports Ledger out in Sedona. Rudy, I'm going to start off with you because, again, I've heard that you got a promotion. You've moved to where football lives. Tell the fans about where you're at now. That's why I didn't give your call sign. Go ahead.
You can find me at KPH Fox 26 here in the Central Valley. I am Rudy Reyes. So if you like that action, but you want sports action, you can always check me out at therudedogshow.com or follow me on X as well as Instagram. So you can go anywhere, and I am found.
There you go. Rudy Reyes now with Fox. Football is on Fox. Again, Fox in the Central Coast. Appreciate you stopping by the big board today. We're going to jump into this NFL matchup. My main man, Daniel Cameron, is on the line with me now. Got another guy coming into the big board on the half hour. My main man, Rodney Newpel from Noob Sports out in the Midwest, going to be giving some breakdown for you. But let's talk about this NFL matchup, man. Wow, it's been a while, hasn't it? Aren't you guys happy? Back finally watching some sports that we like, but let's talk a little bit about the game that happened last night. Boy. Woo. Never heard of anybody getting out of bounds by a toe, especially on a touchdown. Let's talk about it last night. The Ravens, unfortunately, not able to cover the spread, not able to get you the money in the dog position. I didn't bet that game, though. I was very smart because I said if Taylor Swift is anywhere near the stadium, it's a guaranteed loss for the opposing team, especially at home. And then when they brought Chad Henne out for the Ring of Honor, I'm like, oh, my goodness. No way the NFL was going to let the Chiefs lose last night. But talk a little bit, and I'll start off with you, Rudy, about what you saw with the Ravens last night. Lamar Jackson looked poised. He looked focused, but they still couldn't quite get the leads and have that defensive dominance that the Ravens have been known for. You know, back in the early 2000s, late 2000s, when they got their 2 Super Bowl championships with Trent Dilfer and Flacco, they had issues on the offense, similar to what they have now, but that defense was super stout. But what we're seeing right now out of the defensive side of the Baltimore Ravens hasn't been where I would consider you could put money on it. Spread opened up at 6.5, went down to 3.5. They lost the game. Go ahead, Rudy.
No, they definitely did. I think a lot of the reasons behind that is that they no longer have Patrick Queen roaming the field, being that QB spot. Now he's starting with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, look, there's a lot of things to like about Lamar Jackson, how he tried to take control over the game. Look, if you guys can't rush it, I guess I'm going to, and he did it quite often, quite a bit. You know, the reigning NFL MVP certainly making a case for why he is the MVP, and of course that is the most valuable player. Last night was just not there. It was not in their bag, and it was at home against the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. And it's not like Mahomes had a stellar game, but not take away from what he did at almost 300 yards in passing. So, look, there's a lot of things to like about Baltimore moving forward. Derrick Henry looked like he was running in mud, like he was in quicksand or falling through a sand trap or, something. It just wasn't kind of running game. They had Justice Hill. He did certainly carry the load on the outside perimeter. They need to utilize more of that. But it's a shame that you missed by a toe, maybe a toenail. I don't know. It depends on the size shoe. Maybe if he was wearing a size 9, it probably would have been in. But unfortunately, not the case for the Ravens as they fall yesterday, 27-20.
There you go. Got to hit you with a pause there. The originators, the boys from Harlem. Again, shout out to Cam and Mace. I'm from Harlem. I'm a little bit older than them. Could be younger. Don't matter. But again, we originated the pause, and you were talking about men's shoe size. We don't do that on this show. Going over to you, Daniel Cameron. I want to get your thoughts. This is a tough situation that we run into because you talk about the officiating. We saw some officiating that was a little bit, shaky on the sideline, some altercations. But I want to get your thoughts on the game, and you can either go with the Ravens or the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are, again, for real. Patrick Mahomes, he's the new generation's Tom Brady. If you're an NFL receiver on the outside of Patrick Mahomes, he will find you. Last night, you saw that young kid. I can't even think of his name. I know last year it was Pacheco. Last night it was some other new receiver that they had putting in the work. So when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, Xavier Worthy. Shout out to Daryl Harris, CBS 8 KLAS here in Las Vegas. He actually put him on his fantasy team. So he's got some points lined up, and he had mentioned Xavier Worthy a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. But go ahead, Daniel, your thoughts, and then we'll jump into tonight's action.
Yeah, first of all, I think the officials got that call right with the toe being out. But, you did bring up the officials. There's a problem with the officials. They're all trying to be famous now. They're calling way too many flags. It was very sloppy. I'm not trying to say I'm anything special, but I did do officiating for high school, and one of the main principles for officiating is that people shouldn't know who you are. You're not part of the game.
Exactly.
And now all these officials, they want to be part of the game, and now they're getting media spots after they retire and stuff, so they're trying to get their name out. They're trying to throw all these flags. They're not doing a good job anymore. Something needs to be done about it.
It's
but
just tough.
anyways, I think
go ahead.
officials should get fined.
Yeah, the officials. That's the one thing about the league, and this is a sports betting show, so we try not to rag on the officials too much, just because we want to keep we want to keep some integrity, but we do keep it honest here at Vegas Scoreboard Express. Again, live 107.1 FM, AM 1400, iHeartRadio around the world on those replays. Tune in, Spotify, you name it, we are there. The officials have to do a lot better in relationship to the new rules. This is the issue that they're having. There's been a lot of rule changes. You've got guys who've been officiating for 10 to 20 years with a certain set of rules, and now that the rules have changed, you're going to see a lot of these mistakes, miscues, or some just out-and-out robbings. You know what time it is. Vegas Scoreboard Express. My main man, Rudy Rude Dog Reyes, with Fox 26 in Central California. Quick shout-out, and then Dan Cameron out in Sedona, Arizona. Quick shout-out. We'll take a short commercial break and get back to the grease. Go ahead. Rudy, where you at?
Oh, hey, I didn't know who was going first.
There you go.
Who's on first and he's on second? We're not talking baseball, we're talking football. You can find me on Fox 26 in your local Central Valley news guide. You can go to RudeDogShow.com or find me on Instagram at Rudy O. Reyes.
There you go, Rudy O. Reyes on Instagram. Daniel Cameron, where can they find your picks? You've been cashing, man, putting a lot of money in people's pockets. Go ahead.
Yes, I have. Yeah, hit me up on Instagram, the letter D, Sports Ledger, or hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. Let's talk some sports betting.
There you go. Talk sports betting. Again, go to my website, jbtheticket.com. I got all those special deals for you. Sign up for that Fubo TV, and when we get back from this short commercial break, we're getting money.
You're listening to the football. JB the Ticket.
This football season, stay in the game with Fubo TV. Over 100 live channels, including NFL Network, NBA TV, and FS1. Don't miss any of the action. Get 7 days free on us at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV. Get ready to showcase your brand to the exploding sports betting and fantasy sports audience to elevate your business this season. Advertise on the VSX Digital Sports Network, broadcasting locally on KSHP and nationwide on iHeartRadio. Experience the power of digital and broadcast radio with great value, fast results, and no hassle. Reach a dedicated audience and watch your brand soar this season. Discover why VSX flagship show, Vegas Scoreboard Express Live, is rated #1 on GoodPod, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and top 5 on FeedSpot for best radio podcasts in Las Vegas. Get your brand in front of an engaged and loyal audience who are looking for the best sports advice and great offers. Advertise with VSX Digital Sports Network. Your success is our commitment. Visit VSXDigitalSportsNetwork.com or call 702-909-0585. Take your business to new heights this season. Don't miss out on this opportunity to connect your brand with sports enthusiasts across the nation with VSX Digital Sports Network. All money, all sports, no bull. Visit VSXDigitalSportsNetwork.com or call 702-909-0585. Log on or call today.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
Vem maga lenha, rojão, traz a lenha pro fogo.
You are rocking with the hottest. Put your hands up for the boss. The Mix Master is live. Get ready.
Vem maga lenha, rojão, traz a lenha pro fogão, vem fazer a maçã.
You're listening to the boss of the big boss, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
That's right, I'm dropping beats on you this afternoon. Simone Fava. A little bit of that Magalena on the remix. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live here. KSHP 107.1 FM, AM 1400. I'm the top sports handicapper in the city, in the nation. You guys go over to Good Pod, see the show ranked #1. Support the show. Link up with the website. We're going to put cash in your pockets. All of my picks are free. I can't speak for my guests, though. My main man, Rudy Reyes, is on the line with me out in the Central Coast of California. Also, Daniel Cameron out in Sedona, Arizona, and out in the Illinois country. My main man, Rodney Newpool, back on the line with me here. We got a full house at VSX to bring you guys some cash this Friday afternoon. All you drive time listeners here in Las Vegas, getting ready to go home from work, or if you're already on the highway, be sure to drive safe. Watch out for those speed traps, and most importantly, keep it locked here to put that cash in your pocket with these dogs. So, Rodney, good afternoon to you. How you doing?
I'm wonderful, man. It was a great night of football last night, and really excited about this weekend, including tonight's game. So,
Yes.
I'm doing great. Thanks, man.
I'm so glad to have you here. Tonight's games, again, being brought to you by our friends over at Fubo TV. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. That's going to get you 15% off. So what we want to look at really quickly here, because we've been talking about it, just to touch on it a little bit, to give your thoughts on that last night's game with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. When you look at where the Ravens are, do you think they're going to be able to make that push to at least get back to another Super Bowl? Not to take anything away from them. They are a two-time Super Bowl champion in their own respect as a team under Trent Dilfer and Joe Flacco. But when you go back to what you saw last night, Lamar Jackson played his butt off. But I still think he's running a little bit too much. Still got some accuracy problems, but that was all the officials last night. That was a tough situation where you had some calls not made on, egregious actions on the sideline, and then at the very end to get that touchdown in the seam, in between the money, thinking we're cashing, thinking the dog is barking, and then that dog goes right down the toilet. Nothing happens. I saw a lot of that last night in the game. Go ahead, Rodney, your thoughts.
Yeah, man, I thought obviously a great game. I'm not on the Baltimore gets back to a Super Bowl anytime soon. I think the AFC is too talented, and as of right now, there's several other quarterbacks I'm taking in a big game over Lamar Jackson. Obviously, Mahomes is one. I'm taking Joe Burrow in a big game over Lamar Jackson. So, no, I to answer your question in the short version, no, I'm not taking the Ravens to get back to a Super Bowl.
All you Baltimore natives out here in Vegas, you guys be sure to follow Rodney over on the X-Bird at Newpool Rodney and give him the grease. Let's jump into tonight's game, guys. Again, down in Brazil. That's why you're hearing those beats. Live here, KSHP 107.1 FM, AM 1400. You got the Green Bay Packers right now, plus 2.5 right before the big game going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, this is a out-of-country game, so Philadelphia's taken 61% of the money, minus 1.5. You're going to have to shop this one around. Going to start off with you, Daniel Cameron. When you looked at where this was being priced, I saw it priced anywhere between a touchdown all the way down to a field goal and a hook. How do you think the sports books are going to try to make money on this one? You know there have been issues about players worried about going to Brazil, and I would tell them, no, don't even worry about going to Brazil, because that's where all the good booty is. All that finest. You'll get shot in San Francisco before you get shot over in Brazil. Just saying. But anyway, this pricing has been all over the place. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the way. BetMGM has them Philadelphia down to -2 now. I do not believe the dog is barking. I think he's whining because he's about to get beat down. I think the Eagles, win by 10-14 in this game. It's, the Packers, they got the quarterback and stuff, but they're still not all the way there. The Eagles have a solidified team. They've got great backups they can bring in. They can get, guys, they can give guys rest during the game. They've got, the Eagles just have everything going for them right now. They are definitely a Super Bowl contender. And the Packers are working there. They got a good, solid quarterback now. They got some things working, but they haven't built up the backups. They haven't built up the team the way it should be yet.
There you
give
go.
Them a couple more years.
There you go. Your thoughts on that? Going over to you, Rodney Newpool. We're out here in the middle. Rudy Reyes wants you to tap in on this one as well after Rodney. But you talk about Jordan Love and the difference between Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. Now, Jordan Love is a good quarterback. He's young. He's focused, but he's no Aaron Rodgers in his prime. But Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, I think he's going to stink it up for my New York Jets. Not a big fan of him anyway, but the reality here is I think that Green Bay has somewhat of a chance because they are a younger team. And even though the Philadelphia Eagles are loaded, I just don't believe in that defense as of yet for Philadelphia. That's what got them to the big game a couple of seasons ago. And offense was what kept them in that game. But if that defense had been stout, it just seems like it's been a regression every single year for that Philadelphia defense. Go ahead, Rodney.
Yeah, a couple coordinator changes there in Philadelphia could make a big difference for them. I know Nick Sirianni probably feels like he's coaching this season for his job, as they wanted him gone towards the end of last year with their stumble down the stretch. I'm with Philadelphia wins this game. I'm going to take them, somewhere around the 27-17 mark, 9-10 points, somewhere around there. But I like Hurts more than I like Love. Love finished the season strong last year, but to think he's going to make that progression in the year 2, I'm just not there yet. I'd like to see a little bit more from him. I'm taking the Eagles too.
Well, there you go. Rodney's telling you tonight, take the Eagles because love hurts. You know how I do all that little stuff. You know, the best. But let's go back to you, Rudy Reyes. I'm looking at Jordan Love, his receiving core, the running game, offense is what everyone's talking about. But that Green Bay Packers defense has beefed up their secondary, and they were very strong last year in a similar game where I went against Green Bay, and they costed me a ton of money playing the Detroit Lions. I don't know if you remember that last year. They put a clamp down on the Detroit Lions offense, and that secondary has only gotten better for Green Bay. How do you think it's going to fare out tonight? Go ahead, Rudy.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of things to like about the Green Bay Packers. They're still young. They posted a 9-8 record. I mean, they were 12-32 teams for 383 points. So it's not like they fall off the wheels. The Eagles fell off the wheels, right? The defense fell off the wheels. They had a total collapse up front with the defensive tackles and the exterior or the backfield rather. So I mean, there's a lot to like about Philadelphia, but now they have Vic Fangio. Now it looks a little bit different, but to be honest with you, I've never been a big fan of Vic Fangio anyway. But without Hassan Reddick, who was like their best performer, now finds himself, whether or not he gets a contract from the Jets or gets it extended or whatnot, I don't know what that looks like. But Jordan Love looked really good in the last part of last year. I mean, he had 422 completions, 662 attempts. His GP, his rating was like 94. So that's pretty good for the Green Bay Packers team as they're upcoming, but a little too late for the Green Bay Packers as they lost against the Lions. But I got to take the Eagles here. They just have Jalen Hurts, and it hurts so good to know that they're going to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and get that W. I think it's at least a 10-point differential.
There you go.
Eagles win.
Talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, I'm big on the Green Bay Packers tonight. I may look at a total. I'm going to hold out on giving up my pick yet because I wanted to talk about a couple of the players that we had here. One big player we had last year for the Las Vegas Raiders, now a Green Bay Packer, talking about running back Josh Jacobs. And if you guys listen to my show religiously, as you should be doing, you would know I was the first person to tell you that Josh Jacobs will be gone after this last season because they didn't pay him. He was the leading rusher in the NFL and many other different things. Going over to you, Daniel Cameron, you're out here in the Southwest with me. Do you think that Josh Jacobs has a resurgence up in the tundra, or is he just going to start collecting checks like, you know, say, what was that one kid, Ezekiel Elliott, and then just trying to find his way out of the league? Go ahead.
No, I like Josh Jacobs. I think he'll do good in Green Bay. You know, they've got a good offensive line. They'll do a good offensive blocking scheme for him. You know, they've got a good quarterback there. So I mean, there's, you know, it's going to be they're going to have to respect the pass. You know, so it's one of those things. I think it's a great fit for him. I mean, I think that's one of the best teams he could have gone to. So if he doesn't do well, then that's on him because I think he's in a perfect situation.
Going over to you, Rodney Newple. We've got Josh Jacobs up in the Midwest now. Has there been any buzz for him in Green Bay? We haven't heard a lot here in Las Vegas. Obviously, folks are mad at him for leaving, and you know how that goes. Been rumors about Devontae leaving. He came out yesterday and said he will let you know he likes being here in Las Vegas, but we know how that goes. The Green Bay Packers right now are -1.5 on some boards. You got to look at some of these foreign boards, some of these overseas books. Things are changing as soon as I came online here. But Jordan Love, you've got him at the quarterback. Wide receiver core. This is the big question that I have. You got Josh Jacobs running the ball. Who's Jordan Love going to throw to? Rodney, give us some insights.
Yeah, I mean, the Josh Jacobs, I don't know as if he's getting a lot of hype Green Bay or here in the Midwest. I mean, I'll be honest, right now a lot of the Midwest hype is on the Chicago Bears and you know, the young guys they have. So Josh Jacobs, to me, is going a little under the radar, and I like the Josh Jacobs signing for Green Bay. I just feel Philadelphia is going to have too much for him tonight, and this is going to be one of those games where they're going to make Jordan Love beat them, and they're not going to be able to beat them. I mean, you've got a bunch of receivers there for the Packers. Who's going to be the guy? That's the $1 million question.
That is the $1 million question, yes, because in this NFL era, a lot of folks, fans may not know this, there has been a changing of the guard. We're seeing the NFL quarterback start to shave off a little bit, going in a different direction, getting guys like Patrick Mahomes, guys like Jalen Hurts to the forefront of the NFL. Guys, I'm so glad you're here on the board. Producer pointing at me like, JB, you're dropping too much grease. We got to go to a short commercial break. I'm taking the Packers in this one, man. I like the dog. It's almost a pick 'em for me. I'm going to take the dog money. There's not really much value going with the Philadelphia Eagles at -3, -2.5. Anything bad can happen. And I think that if the Green Bay Packers want to be taken seriously in that NFC Central, NFC North, whatever they changed it to now, they're going to have to focus on getting that football in the end zone. I think the defense is going to be fine, but I want to see these guys get 2 early touchdowns. If we can get a 14-14 tie game, 14-21 tie game by halftime, with the Packers either in that 7 spread or, God forbid, they take the lead, get that big dog play, I think we're going to have money in our pocket. Again, Rodney Newpel on the line. You keep it locked. Rudy Reyes, you keep it locked on the line. And Daniel Cameron going around the board real quick. Quick shout-outs. We'll take this short commercial break and get out of here. Rodney, you go first.
Yeah, man, I'm really just excited to be back on here, and I appreciate you having me. Looking forward to a great game tonight.
It's going to be a great game. You stay on the line. Rudy Reyes, go ahead.
Hey, you guys can find me again at therootdogshow.com or Fox 26 KMPH here in the Central Valley. Stay tuned. Lots of good stuff. Always lining up great interviews with a lot of great people. So
there you go.
Find out rootdogshow.com.
There you go. Going to be hooking us up with more information on the LA Rams. That's right. You can get that right here from my main man, Mark Hayes. From KSHP, station manager, also the inside scoop guy for the Los Angeles Rams. Dan Cameron, quick shout out, and we'll take this break. Got about 9 seconds. Go ahead.
All right. Always a pleasure being here with JB. Check me out on Instagram at eSportsLegend.
There you go. Time for this short commercial break. You guys keep it locked here, 107.1 FM at AM 1400. Let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Tech Act. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.
This football season, stay in the game with Fubo TV. Over 100 live channels, including NFL Network, NBA TV, and FS1. Don't miss any of the action. Get 7 days free on us at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled, get Fubo TV. Get ready to showcase your brand to the exploding sports betting and fantasy sports audience to elevate your business this season. Advertise on the VSX Digital Sports Network, broadcasting locally on KSHP and nationwide on iHeartRadio. Experience the power of digital and broadcast radio with great value, fast results, and no hassle. Reach a dedicated audience and watch your brand soar this season. Discover why VSX flagship show, Vegas Scoreboard Express Live, is rated #1 on Goodpod, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and top 5 on FeedSpot for best radio podcasts in Las Vegas. Get your brand in front of an engaged and loyal audience who are looking for the best sports advice and great offers. Advertise with VSX Digital Sports Network. Your success is our commitment. Visit VSXDigitalSportsNetwork.com or call 702-909-0585. Take your business to new heights this season. Don't miss out on this opportunity to connect your brand with sports enthusiasts across the nation with VSX Digital Sports Network. All money, all sports, no bull. Visit VSXDigitalSportsNetwork.com or call 702-909-0585. Log on or call today.
Step into a world of refined taste with Flaviar Whiskey. As a member of this exclusive whiskey club, you'll immerse yourself in a journey where every sip unveils layers of luxurious flavor and unmatched elegance. Discover the art of whiskey, crafted for those who appreciate the finer things. Join Flaviar and elevate your evening with the smooth, sophisticated spirit that defines exceptional taste. Membership opens the door to a world of rare and exquisite whiskey, curated just for you. Pour yourself a glass and let the blues carry you away. Flaviar Whiskey. Experience the exceptional. Join now.
Join Flaviar Whiskey Club exclusively at jbtheticket.com. You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
You are rocking with the hottest. Put your hands up for the boss. The Mix Master is live. Get ready.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
You know I'm keeping it rumbling in the background. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Back at you live, 107.1 FM, AM 1400. Got him on the line with me, Daniel Cameron from D Sports Ledger, Rodney Newpel from Noob Sports, and my main man, Rudy Reyes, now Fox Sports 26 out in Central Coast, California. Giving you guys a little bit of that Magdalena track. I'm telling you, that is where the beat is. The Philadelphia Eagles and Green Bay Packers are down in Sao Paulo, Brazil, so we wanted to give you guys a little bit of that grease to bump your speakers here in Las Vegas as you're riding home from work. Most importantly, you got to get over to that sports book now that you're tuning in to hear VegasScoreboardExpress.com. We're telling you where the cash is at. All my cohorts are on the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm the only guy going with the dog and the Green Bay Packers. So let's switch it up a little bit and go over to a little bit of college football. It's time to get on the horse and ride again tonight. College football, Friday night football. It is a time to be back in the game, man. I'm telling you right now, when football comes back around, it just gives everybody that energy. The sports book, a lot of people in the sports book, a lot of people in the sports book winning. They're not winning because they're not listening to JB the Ticket. But guys, let's jump into it tonight. First game, it's already live. 2 games live, actually, but BYU and SMU. I did go with BYU as the dog. Shout out to my main man, Legal Lee, here in Las Vegas. I showed him my ticket earlier. Shout out to my man up in the Bay Area listening, Joe Ado Tasby. So we've been talking about this team for quite some time. BYU is another team that has been on the cusp of making noise. And now with the college transfers and the NIL portal and everything going wild, BYU has the ability to pick up some of these good kids and players who can get out and get after it. The spread is 12.5 tonight. SMU already down 7-0 with about 4 minutes left in the first quarter. So I'm going to throw this one over to you, Rodney Newpel. When you talk about BYU, you talk about SMU, and talk about big spreads in college football as it is, how can you make money here? These teams have the players, and they're much older, especially BYU. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, BYU is a talented team that's kind of getting lost in the Big 12 shuffle that, you know, with Arizona coming in, being one of the better teams there, Utah being one of the better teams there. BYU's kind of getting left out of the talk. They're talented. I'm a little surprised they got off to a good start. I'm actually on SMU, so I'm going to need a little run here from the Mustangs. But you're right, BYU is a very talented and usually a very physical team.
There you go. Need those horses to get up for you. Going over to you, Rudy Reyes. When you talk about a team like BYU in the Southwest, able to keep kids focused to stay in the Southwest, not so much what you're seeing over at USC, Cal, and the like, UCLA, but BYU tends to have their recruiting kind of set. They own Northern Nevada, they own Utah, Northwestern Arizona, and you'll be able to attest to that, Dan Cameron. BYU tonight, plus 12.5 spread. Do you want to go ahead and take them in game betting tonight, money line, and just overall the quality of their recruiting? I know they've been taking a lot of kids from Central California as well. Go ahead, Rudy.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of things to like about BYU. As you said, JB, they've just done a lot of solid recruiting, under the radar stuff, and nothing that would really stand out to most people unless you take guys that are here in the Central Valley, of course. But I look at the other side of the ball at SMU beating Southern Illinois. I mean, it was one of those games where you thought to yourself, "Well, they actually going to do this?" But then now you have BYU, who certainly faces a completely different challenge, and BYU has been one of those teams, one of those organizations that are leading 7-0 with 3:39 left in the first quarter. Certainly questions in regards to sustainability. What does that look like for them? They're just one of those teams where Kalani Sitake is in his 8th season, certainly has his program on the rise, and I think when you look at the bigger picture of all of this in totality, I just think BYU is going to find a way to really choke SMU, the battle of the U's, I guess, with the U around their neck, wondering what happened. So,
there you go. 12.5 is that spread, big dog spread. I've got BYU on my ticket. Going over to you, Dan Cameron. We talked about this. Let's talk a little bit about SMU. They are a team, just a little history here before we, get back into the grease. SMU got the death penalty back in like 83, 84 or something. It was a big 30 for 30 on it, and it was NIL before it was legal. And the kids were getting nil. They were getting little cars, all that stuff. Now you've got this same team. This is what always confuses me about these teams that were known for giving away money when it was, quote unquote, under the table, if you will. SMU has not really been at the top of their conference and their division. Do you think that they got a chance tonight? Go ahead, Daniel.
I think just about any year I would take BYU over SMU. I mean, BYU's definitely way better at home. They're always better at home, but BYU is just always so solid of a squad. Like, they don't make mental errors. It's so hard to beat BYU. BYU's that one team that's just like never bet against BYU ever.
There you go.
Know what I mean?
There you go. And that was a big
SMU
spread.
Looks like they might get a touchdown here, but once they get that touchdown, you talked about in-play betting. I mean, I would like to jump back on BYU with the points, or maybe even money line. Once it's tied up again.
Yep. And one of you guys in the background sounded like you're fighting gremlins. I don't know. Sound like you're under the dryer trying to get your socks back. I'm like, what is going on over there? Let's talk about this other game, though. Western Illinois. Rodney, I'll throw this one at you. Western Illinois getting dog-walked by the Indiana Hoosiers. You guys love dogs out in the Indiana area here. The Hoosiers are destroying the Western Illinois Bulldogs 28-0. Spread in that one is Indiana -45. And we talked about this, about Indiana not being a dominant college football team, never beating teams more than 3 or 4 points. But this is two teams, two situations. Last week they didn't cover the spread versus FIU. But Western Illinois is no FIU. Do you think that the Indiana Hoosiers tonight are going to be able to get inside of that spread? Because as the way I'm looking at it, it's 28-0, still in the first quarter. Go ahead, Rodney.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too far away from Western Illinois here, and they're not good. In fact, they're terrible. I do think Indiana is going to continue pounding on them. They want to get ready for next week's Big Ten opener against UCLA. It's Indiana, UCLA out there in Pasadena next week. So, yes, I would still take Indiana to cover that spread. It's up 28-0. They're off to a good start. Where are they going to win? 96-0?
Oh, man, go ahead and flush that one down. Let's move into some more Friday night action. Got about 15 minutes left in the show. Tonight, guys, I got little ghosts in here knocking over at my mic. Duke versus Northwestern. Now, you got this Duke team down in the ACC, which I think is probably going to disband for football. I think they're the next big conference to drop. I've been talking about this for years. Pac-12 was the first to go. Somewhat shocking, but not really. The football quality was stinking. In the ACC, another stinking Lincoln, out here with some terrible football. The Duke Blue Devils 0-1 going up against the Northwestern Wildcats. Duke on the road as a road dog, going out again to Northwestern, sticking over in that Chicago, Indiana area land there, that triple option that you guys got. Rodney, is Northwestern a decent football team? This is the same team that told everybody, we want to unionize. We want to get the money before the NIL. And ain't won a game for me that was really counting to put cash in my pocket. Only worth -110, +2, -2. Northwestern is the favorite. Your thoughts, Rodney, and then we'll get back over to you.
I mean,
Daniel.
My thoughts here are this would be a great Scholastic Bowl matchup between Duke and Northwestern. A bunch of smart football players. I'm staying completely away from this game. I don't know as if any of the teams, either one of the Duke or Northwestern, are any good. I need to find out more. I don't love this game. I'm going to stay away from it. Probably side the home team if I had to, which is Northwestern.
That's right. All the bombs are dropping here on that game. Just like you said, that's a brain bowl. Pause. But going over to you, Daniel Cameron, I know you look at a lot of these teams, a lot of the Brainiac teams. You follow where guys transfer in from the Ivy League and some of the other smaller Division III schools who may now have finally grown into their Division I talent if they were playing at that level. Duke and Northwestern are two teams that pick up these types of guys. Maybe not so much in the NIL era anymore, but can Duke find themselves in a better position? I mean, Duke produced Daniel Jones, who's stinking it up in New York for the Giants. They got to have some sort of NFL pedigree, right? Go ahead.
Yeah. Northwestern's another team, kind of like BYU. They're just always mechanically sound. They're always just a solid team. This might be a good stay away, like he said, but I would lean towards Duke in this game, to be honest. I just think Duke is on the rise a little bit, and Northwestern is on the decline a little bit. And so I think Duke's got a lot more to play for.
Yeah, it's still early in the season. This is an ACC team versus a terrible Big 10, Big 12 team. Two turds in the bucket. See which one goes down first. If I had to pick something here, I would pick the total. The total is 37. So what is that telling me? Neither one of these teams can score. If you can adjust that total, bring it down a couple of points, take a slight over. But again, this is going to be one of those games where if you want to make some money tonight, you have to bet it. I'm sticking with Northwestern here at home. -2. Even if they're terrible, you should be able to win at least by a field goal. Let's talk about this other college football game tonight before we get out of here. You got Kansas State going up against Tulane. This is another interesting matchup because these are two teams, again, that have been playing in that NIL ball era, picking up players for cash. Tulane has been doing some good work with that, already have a 1-0 record, plus 8.5 home dog. You know I love home dogs. So when you talk about it from that perspective, if the Tulane Green Wave can get outside of those Wildcats early, a la BYU, do you think that's another home dog that's barking? I'll throw that one over to you, Rudy Reyes. Go ahead.
I like the Kansas State Wildcats. I think when they're on the road, they are very difficult to play against. And then one of those organizations that continue to be on the rise. You know what? As good as Tulane is, and of course, look, it's still early in the season. I'm not picking the Tulane Green Wave to do anything. But to make a splash, but it's not going to be against Kansas State. I can tell you that right now. I just think that Kansas State is on the rise. Just one of those football programs that has been a snort fest for the most part in some capacity, but right now it's not that they're stinking up the joint. 41 points per game on offense, which is 44th, which is not bad. Range 20 defensively, 6 points allowed per game. I mean, they're doing pretty good, and they have a lot of key players. Dylan Edwards, DJ Giddens for 124 yards. I just think they're doing a lot better than what Tulane looks like on paper and on the field. So I'm definitely taking Kansas on this.
He's liking the Kansas State Wildcats on the road, -8.5. Home dog Tulane. I'm telling you guys, you look at what they did last week versus Southeast Louisiana, 52-0. They can get in the end zone. They prove that their offense works. I think Tulane should be able to step it up this season. Throwing this one back over to you, Rodney Newpel. I know you're not getting involved with the Western Illinois game because it's a beatdown down the street. Now, if you want to pull up, you can pull up, but ain't nobody going to be there. Tulane, do you think they got a chance tonight? Plus 8.5, big spread, some money to be made on that money line. Think you can get you about 285. Go ahead.
I mean, they'll battle there in New Orleans.
There you go.
But I like Avery Johnson there for Kansas State to be the best player on the field. 8.5 is a lot. This is one of those games I'll take Kansas State to win, but the Green Wave cover that spread. I will take Tulane to cover, yeah.
There you go. Split the ticket to put cash in your pocket. Got about 5 minutes left, guys. Again, thank you so much for listening out here in Las Vegas. 107.1 FM, AM 1400. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you guys a little bit of Friday grease. Friday afternoon drive time grease, 4 to 5. Is when I'm here in studio some days, and I feel like dropping something for you to keep those picks in your pocket. Tomorrow I'll be back 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time. Could have some of the same guys on the line with me. Could have new guys, but we're always going to have that money. So, again, the Tulane, I'm going with the dog here, plus 8.5. Do I think they can beat Kansas State? Yes, because I think college football is wide open now. Every player, except for the ones that we named, most of them transfer out. But if Kansas and Tulane have returned players in Tulane, New Orleans, as long as the weather's holding up down there, not too hot, too muggy, or too wet, I think Tulane has that shot. So, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to finish out with our final plays of the day, best plays of the day, and then a couple of preview picks for tomorrow's action, Saturday college football. Again, watch it on Fubo TV, jbtheticket.com/ just me. That's my website. But FuboTV.com/JB to get you where you want to be. But going over to you, Rodney, real quick. I don't know if you got to get out of here yet. But again, thank you so much for stopping by the big board today. What's your best play tonight? And something maybe we can preview tomorrow if I can get you back on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so again, I'm going with Green Bay tonight. Tomorrow, I am actually in attendance for the Kansas-Illinois game in Champaign. And I am a Kansas Jayhawks fan. I'm going to take Kansas -6 over Illinois.
He's liking Kansas over Illinois.
Yes,
thank you so much, Rodney Newpel. If you want to stay on the line, go ahead. If you get off the line, I'll see you click off. But going over to you, Rudy Reyes, hope you stay with me the next 5 minutes. Quick shout-outs. What's your best play for tomorrow? Couple of plays tonight. Go ahead.
Oh, you know what? I think Jordan Love's going to drop a couple bombs tonight in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
There you go, Brazil.
For Kansas State to get it done. So it's just looking good. I think it's just going to look that much better as the season goes.
All right, he likes Kansas State to look good. Again, Rodney Newpel, thank you much for stopping by the big board today. I was going to take a commercial break and come back, but the guys are like, JB, you can go ahead and get out of here, get to the book. We know you got to get that bet in. Rodney Newpool, again, thank you so much for stopping by. Dan Cameron, quick shout out, and then we'll take this break and come back and get out of here. Go ahead.
Yeah, hit me up on Instagram at DSportsLedger or Twitter by the same.
There you go, D Sports Ledger. What's your best pick tonight before we come back from the break?
Oh, yeah, give me the Eagles tonight.
He likes those Philadelphia Eagles. You guys keep it locked here. Let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket.
This football season, stay in the game with Fubo TV. Over 100 live channels, including NFL Network, NBA TV, and FS1. Don't miss any of the action. Get 7 days free on us at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live. We're getting ready to sign off, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by the big board. The dogs are barking tonight. You got BYU looking real good down at SMU, 7-0 starting off that second quarter. You got Indiana falling asleep at the wheel with 28 points. Western Illinois with nothing. If you took Indiana minus 45, could have warned you about that. And then tonight, my dog of the night, liking those Tulane Green Wave plus 8.5. And that's the wrap. Those are my picks tonight. Again, you can tune in tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time, right here on KSHP, AM 1400, 107.1 FM. I'm your host and boss of the big board, JB the Ticket, giving you that grease. Still got him on the line with me, Daniel Cameron, D Sports Ledger. Check him out on the Instagram at D Sports Ledger. If you guys are just tuning in, Daniel, what's your best play of the night for all those late listeners who are going to have to get this replay on the website? Go ahead.
Yeah, tonight, let's go with the Eagles. Sticking with the Eagles.
Sticking with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chiefs.
You want one for tomorrow?
Yeah, throw me something out there for tomorrow in case you can't make it in the morning. Go ahead.
All right. Give me the pissed-off Clemson team minus 17 against Appalachian State at home.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I like that pick. Unless Clemson falls asleep somehow and lets an FCS school beat them. Again, Rudy Reyes over at Fox 26 in the Central Coast of California. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight. Again, what's one of your best plays for this evening? And if you got any early grease for Saturday morning, go ahead.
You know, I would probably keep Georgia at number 1 and go Bulldogs. I think they're just going to have a run-of-the-mill with their upcoming schedule. So I'm taking Georgia.
He's picking the Georgia Bulldogs, and that's a wrap, folks. Again, you get my picks tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., right here on KSHP 107.1 FM, AM 1400. And, of course, all my replays are all over the internet, iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it, I am there. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Rudy Reyes from Fox 26 in Central Coast of California, and Daniel Cameron out in Sedona, Arizona with D Sports Ledger. And cannot forget my main man, Rodney Newpool. And thank you, all my listeners out in Las Vegas, all the people that show JB love. When you see me in your stores, you see me supporting your business, and you show me love, I appreciate that. And that's why I give you guys a big shout out and a big JB the Ticket hug. So until tomorrow morning, guys, you know there's only one thing to do. Grab your bankroll, hit the window, and beat the line. It's time to get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.